What is up, YeshGamers? Robert the Bruce here, and today it's all about our old friend the scattergun, the blunderbuss, the seed sower. I'm talking about Ol Bessie, the shoulder buster, the peacemaker, otherwise known as the Model 10A factory shotgun. This weapon is a flippin' beast. It one-shots baddies at close range, and really it even drops some legit one-shot kills out to a pretty solid distance. So is it actually a solid option for use, though? And with battlefield maps being pretty large, is a shotgun really a good choice? Let's look at what this weapon does well and then decide if and how we should use it. So first off, we are talking about the Model 10A Factory and Hunter editions of this gun. The Slug variant is a different beast altogether, and I'll cover that in another video. So what's the difference between the Factory and the Hunter versions? Well, not much. The Factory version recovers 50% faster from recoil and 300% faster recovery from hipfire spread. Now, the only thing the Hunter version does differently is it has a 20% tighter pellet cone. That's a pretty easy decision for me, because when I load up a scattergun, I plan to be strafing through a room, hip-firing that sucker the whole way through. Now, the factory stats matter way more to me. The Hunter perk means more pellets will hit enemies that are a little farther away, but honestly, the factory edition drops baddies out a pretty good way, so I feel like its bonuses make more sense. So, do shotguns have a place in Battlefield 1? Well, of course they do. It's like asking if we need escalators. We get along fine without them, but it's sometimes nice to have. Now, the game mode, the map, how you play, those are going to be the biggest factors that determine whether or not you perform well with the Model 10. Now, if you're running through open fields getting in firefights, well, sure, you're going to die a lot because that's just dumb. Change it up, though, and say you're playing defense on rush and you're staying close to MCOMs, busting up bad guys in the close quarters battles. Well, now you got a situation where Ol Bessie comes in seriously handy. Even in Conquest on a map with lots of open areas, you can be effective with the shotgun if, now come in close and pay special attention to this part, if you are willing to stick only to the areas where you have the advantage. You gotta be willing to be patient and, dare I say it, a little bit campy. Because if the action dies down at your objective, but you've got to run across a bunch of open areas to get anywhere else, well, it's going to get pretty risky. If you stay on defense, even through the slower moments, you can ensure that each encounter is always to your advantage, and that is where you can rack up some seriously awesome kill streaks. So, how do we pair up the old shoulder buster? What are some good options for class loadouts? Well, I absolutely love the incendiary grenade, as you've probably heard me say before. And it still has viable uses with this setup, but honestly, the gas grenade is a super cool option. Think about it. What is the worst part of a gas grenade? That it damages you a little bit? Well, not really. It's easy to toss on the gas mask and it's no big deal. The real penalty is being limited to hip fire only when you have the gas mask on. Now, for a whole lot of guns, that severely cripples them, but not the Model 10. That's how we're shooting it anyways most of the time. The Peacemaker thrives on hip fire. It wakes up in the morning and says, ooh, I hope I get hip fired today. So all you've done is cripple the bad guys when you toss out that gas grenade. Now you want to capture an objective or clear out a room, gas it, throw on the mask, and go to work. I also highly recommend rocking the AT rocket launcher. This is a great long-range sniper alternative, and with your kit being distance challenged, it can really help take out that bad guy who has you pinned down at range. The rocket launcher is also a wonderful way to bust through a locked door when those enemies are shaking and scared on the other side and hoping you'll go away. Rocket down the door, toss in a gas grenade, get your trigger finger warmed up. Ooh man, now it's a party. So what's the takeaway? Well, the shotty isn't good in all situations, of course, but the situations it's good in, it totally dominates. It's not an all-around type of gun. It's a use me in this specific way and I'll never let you down kind of gun. Adjust your playstyle accordingly, choose your attack or defense strategy wisely, and the blunderbuss will have your back. Now, if you've got some thoughts on the shotgun that you want to share with total strangers, head down to the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, because it will help establish a brighter future for generations to come. That's not remotely true, but as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield.